Welcome to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs, the podcast that dives deep into the stories of trailblazers who shape our world. Our co-host, Lulu Benavidez, is a seasoned entrepreneur in the beauty industry, is a photographer, artist, and the proud owner of Lulu's The Salon in Galveston, Texas. Our other co-host, Krokonis Hanson, is a visionary in the entrepreneurial world with years of experience in business innovation and development. Together, they bring you insights, inspiration, and the journeys of remarkable individuals who have made their mark. And with that, let's get started. Geno Stampora is one of the most celebrated and awarded artists in beauty. Geno Stampora's work has been featured in countless magazines and every beauty publication. He is a legend and industry icon. He has conducted presentations and seminars all over the world. Geno has made a major contribution to the beauty industry in many ways. He has owned, managed, and worked behind the chair in his collection of salons. He has owned 2 beauty academies where he also is an instructor. Geno has been a distributor and sales consultant to salons, a major platform artist, and has shared the stage with the world's greatest artists. As an industry expert and speaker, Geno has consulted with many manufacturers. As a keynote speaker, contributing artist, and consultant, Geno has helped thousands of beauty professionals achieve success. As a coach and image consultant, as well as an in-salon educator, Geno has trained thousands of salons worldwide. He has worked with groups large and small, helping them to fine-tune and refine their ability to grow. He has been named as a strong force in the success of thousands of beauty professionals. Industry's finest associations, manufacturers, distributors, academies, and salons use Geno frequently as a guest artist and salon trainer, helping to keep them on the cutting edge and keep their team inspired and motivated. He is the author of Success Dynamics, an award-winning beauty academy textbook. He has written the best-selling CDs in the industry, Adventures in Creative Hairdressing, Geno Live, The 21 Keys to Success in Life, and Achieving Salon Success. Geno continues to contribute to beauty by being an outstanding role model and keeping the creative juices of beauty professionals flowing. Geno is inducted into the North American Hairstylist Awards Hall of Leaders, one of only 27 beauty professionals in history. Let's welcome in Geno Stampora.
So, Geno, we're so excited to have you on Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs because you are and have been all of them. But part of what our show about is not only putting the spotlight on talent, it's putting the spotlight on the person. So we like our audience to get to know you personally. So I'd like to do a little historical question and start at the very beginning. Who is Geno Stampora? How did he get in the beauty business? And how did you wind up here?
Oh, you're going to love this story. Geno Stampora is basically a nobody boy from the Jersey Shore and never really amounted to too much of anything before beauty school. And I actually accidentally fell into beauty school. I was working for a bank, and between the bank and the pizza place that I had lunch at was beauty school. And every day I looked inside and saw all those beautiful women and thought, one day I'm going to go in there and get my hair cut. And I went in to get my hair cut, and the registrar at the school came by and said, "Oh, young man, thank you for coming in. We don't get many young people in beauty school, and we're glad you're here." I said, "Oh, no, it's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here." He says, "I'm Bill Kennedy." And I said, "Bill, I'm Geno Stampora." He goes, "Nice to meet you, Geno." And he walks away. He turns around and he says, "Did you say your name was Geno?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know, with a name like Geno, you could be a success in the beauty industry with just that." And I got my hair cut. I got in the car to drive home, and I'm like, that was probably a sign. Maybe I should sign up. And I signed up, and I have to tell you, Lulu, I know you know, but I've had a love affair with the beauty industry from the day I started beauty school. Mm-hmm. I loved beauty school, and I love us. I love everything about us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so did you work in salons in New Jersey for a while?
I did. I worked in a couple of salons in New Jersey, and a friend of mine in Virginia had a salon here and invited me to come down and help her. I came down to help her and fell in love with Virginia, and I've been here ever since. And I guess through my endeavors, I've had let's see, 5 salons, 2 beauty schools, and for a while I even tried distribution, and I was a distributor for a while too. So I've done the full gambit.
Yeah.
So, Geno, you are the North American hairstylist. You won the North American Hairstylist Hall of Leaders. You were one of 27 participants.
Yeah,
One of 27, right?
right, in history.
Yeah. Wow. And that should say that you are a stylist, a salon owner, a school owner, an educator, a platform artist, a distributor, a consultant, a keynote speaker, and author. So can you tell us about the salon industry?
Well, what is it you'd like to know? I mean, like I
Well,
said
there's
earlier,
a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You're all of that.
I tell you, I love us. I love salons. I love 2-chair salons, 10-chair salons, 50-chair salons. I feel like whenever I'm in a salon, I'm on sacred ground. I think so many beauty professionals, they just forget how magical what we do is and how we can transform a child or a woman or a man and give them the added confidence of knowing they look their best and make them feel great and make them understand that they do have self-worth and self-esteem. And I'll tell you, I love what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you tell the audience what is North American Hairstylist Awards?
That is the NAHA Awards through the Professional Beauty Association. Takes place once a year, every year. And as a matter of fact, now they've eliminated the Hall of Leaders. They don't have it anymore. But NAHA is probably the greatest place you could go to see the art and craft and education and business, the best of us. You know, that's where they end up. It's really a nice program.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of the finalists for hair color back in 1990 something, 95, I think. And I remember a dear friend of ours, and we all know Dwight Miller.
Miller.
Yes, of course.
And he came up to me, he says, "Why is your family here?" Because I do everything by myself. I go and do things. And he says, "This is very important. Don't you know, being nominated is important?" I didn't win, but being nominated, you know, I didn't know what it was, what North American Hairstylist Awards were. I just entered it, and I entered it not knowing, and then I found out what it was.
Gosh,
but
that's
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And you know what? I tell people all the time, look, just being nominated says a lot. You know, it's not like everybody has to win. Just the fact that you had the talent, the skill, that you had the courage to try out, to see if it would work. I mean, that is a big deal. It's a big deal to be nominated. I mean, if you think about the fact that we probably have 500,000 colorists in America doing hair, and you're one of 500,000 that got nominated.
Well, back then it was only 200.
That's all right.
I found out there's only 200
still
at
good.
dinner. But, you know, it's like the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
When you look back at it.
Say that it's the red carpet event of the professional beauty industry. And it's so, you know, you watch it. When we first started going, Lulu and I think they had maybe 5 tables of 10 people. And now it's like the red carpet event. You know, it's just.
No doubt about it. It has grown and grown and grown. As a matter of fact, I facilitate the Professional Beauty Association's Beacon program every year. And Beacon is a program by PBA that I love. It's 300 or so students that apply to come to Beacon, and if we like their paper, they get approved and they get to come as a scholarship. And I take them on a 2.5-day journey where they meet the NAHA people. They get to go to NAHA. We bring the NAHA winners in the next day to talk to the students, and we kind of coach the students to understand a little bit more of what the industry really is. You know, a lot of people, they see the beauty industry is their salon. And that's just such a small part of it. I mean, we're gigantic, and there's so much out there.
Yeah, yeah. We try to expose that on our podcast because, we have people who've invented products, who are artists, like our friend Alan, who Dean Benavidez, who is, Mr. Hollywood,
Spectacular. Yeah.
Trying to expose people to what the whole industry has to offer, and even how to, which really goes to my question to you, is how do people who work behind the chair stay fresh? How do salon owners keep that energy going in their salons? And I would couch it by saying that a lot of people today talk about how much the industry has changed post-COVID, but yet a lot of things that make a salon successful or a stylist successful are the tried and true disciplines. So I'm very curious to just kind of hear your perspective on where the industry is and what advice you might give to our listeners who are owners and stylists.
I love your question, Sue. I'd say it's a three-part question. Part one would be, we are post-COVID. A lot of people are still in COVID. A lot of people are still in the clouds, not just our industry, but people in general, especially people in America. A lot of people really haven't broken out of it. They haven't broken out of the fear. They haven't broken out of the fact that they were antisocial for a few years. And I think it's had a major effect on psychology. I mean, everybody's talking about, mental health and mental health and mental health. And I had a guy telling me not too long ago that 40 hours a week was so hard and that he was going to have to work 35 hours a week because it was such a strain on, his mental capacity. And I said, sir, I don't disagree with you, but I've worked 80 hours a week since I was 15 years old. I don't know any different. And one of the things I tell my friends and family all the time is, listen, if you're depressed or you feel run down, the best thing you can do is work. You can't be productive and be depressed at the same time. So it's important to people don't realize the importance of being productive, getting things done, helping people, going further, growing out of your comfort zone. The second part, I think, would be, there's a lot of stylists that they just lose sight of how magical they are. They lose sight of the magic of a salon that, a lot of people work toward becoming comfortable. And I think right after comfortable, you become a bit mundane. I mean, I'm talking to the two of you and you join with me in the fact that we've been learning since the day we started beauty school, and we're still learning.
Exactly.
We even when we talked before the podcast, we talked about what we're all learning. What we're all into now. So for a stylist, I think it's important to reignite your passion. Get excited about who you are and what you do. And the customer equates passion to expertise. Don't let yourself get bored. I think boredom is a personal problem. Now, for the salon owner, I think it's different today because I don't know that there's truly the work ethic today in, I don't want to say Gen X or Gen Z or Gen anything, just a lot of young people, they're not willing to give up too much in order to get more. We gave up everything. I mean, I was a shampoo boy for a year, waiting for my chance to get my chair, get behind the chair. And you're not going to find that today. So I think for an owner, coaching is very important. These podcasts are very important. Staying on the up and up is very important. And most importantly, studying leadership, what it takes to be a great leader. And then the last thing you could do, like with your staff, is flex time. Give them the opportunity if they want to work a day a week or they want to work 5 days a week or, and kind of find a way to navigate that path and make it work.
Yeah.
That's so important. I'm still a salon owner and I still work in the salon a few days a week. And I've seen the change in people, where we would never think of taking lunch break because you eat
Oh my goodness.
in between.
What is that?
Yeah, right. You
Yeah.
eat in between your client. If she's processing, you eat. Well, today, people want to take a freaking hour for
Yeah.
the lunch, which is
Yeah.
okay. And when my daughter
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
says
No.
that's okay. It's
Yeah.
great for the mental health.
Yeah.
And they're busy. If there's a system in the salon and they follow the system, they're pre-booked way in advance. So they know that they walk their client to the front desk and they pre-book, so they know they have that client. So
Right.
I can't complain, but it's really, really hard because I don't take a lunch. But it is what
Well,
it is.
you know what? We
Old school,
you know,
old school.
I know.
Come on, girls. We didn't even know what lunch was. I mean, if I was working behind the chair on my client, I smelled pizza. I'd be like, oh my God, there's pizza in the break room. I'm going to have to lie to my client, run back there and have a bite. And I would say to her that I had to run in the back and find my texturizing shears or something, and then come running back out. But I'll tell you though, I think we can navigate this different world. We can find a way to all be right, and all win. One of my favorite sayings is, you don't have to be right to win. You can sometimes let them be right, and you can win a whole lot more. But I agree with you. It's a different world out there today.
Yeah. And, being a different world, you just have to approach your business differently, which is, it is what it is.
Exactly.
So, but it takes me. I know this is not one of our questions, but can you elaborate to the viewers what PBA is all about?
Of course. PBA is the largest association in the beauty industry, the Professional Beauty Association. I think there's around 800,000 members right now, maybe more. They do everything for us. I mean, I've always been a major advocate for PBA because it's reasonably inexpensive. Once you join, you get packages of material, even dialogue and contracts and how to do different things. They have an advocacy program where they go to Washington and they lobby for us and they make sure that people stay licensed. They do so much, and it's such an amazing organization. I can tell you that I've added a lot to PBA. One thing I try to do at Beacon is, if you're not a member of PBA, I don't want you on the stage talking to the students. You can join. It's only $100 or so. Join the association that really looks out for us in every way, shape, and form. They even offer opportunities where you can get insurance, health and life insurance at a discount. You can get your Square at a discount. Like they're just constantly thinking about us. And I have to tell you, the new director of PBA is my dear friend Leslie Perry, and she is just wonderful. I'm excited to see what happens in the next year or two. I think it's going to be a wonderful growth spurt.
Yeah.
That's so amazing that you say that, because it's very important for salon owners or non-salon owners, just stylists, to be a member of PBA, Professional Beauty Association. I remember when it first started, it used to be TSA.
Yeah, I was their first speaker.
Right.
Yeah.
The Salon Association. And at the time, when they were forming the PBA, they Neil, you remember Neil, Smoking
Of
Neil,
course.
or yeah. He
Yeah.
kept telling me that to meet Howard Hayes. Howard, what's that?
Howard Hayfitz.
Yes.
Howard Hayfitz, yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, they didn't just want me to buy a Veda. And so I saw him in New York, and he says, you got to meet with Howard the next day. Just have coffee with him, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So I went and had coffee with Howard. And the next thing I knew, I was rushed off to New York with the person that owned a spa in Connecticut. What's her name?
Noelle.
Oh, Noelle, yeah.
Yes, with Noelle.
Yeah.
So I think there was 6 or 7 of us that went to Washington and formed PBA, or
Wonderful.
the association at the time.
Right.
And then
right.
it became PBA. I had all these questions to ask, and Doug McKenzie was one of the guys sitting next to me, and he says, Lulu, those are the same questions I asked. Why didn't you ask them? I was in shock. I was in shock. That, long story short, it's a great organization. Everybody should belong to it because of all that you said. Each person gets a packet of what's out there, what's happening in the industry, scripts, and all kinds of stuff. Insurance, and so anyway.
I always, all of my in-salon seminars, whenever I do an in-salon seminar, I make them join. If they're not already members, I'm like, okay, let's do it right now. It's $150 or 100, somewhere around there. So let's just do it right now because you're going to love it. And you've now got an association that's looking out for you and for your best interest. Nothing quite like it. Nothing quite. And I'll tell you, it's funny you bring up Howard Hafetz. I go back so many years with Howard. I've worked with Howard, and he is such a character, such a great guy. He's outstanding representation of the beauty industry. Just one of those. Yeah.
Right.
And one being ancient in this group, before that we had the BBSI. The whole industry has changed. So the wonderful thing about the new organization is it's not like salons are over here, manufacturers are over there. There's all the different. It's the professional beauty industry, which encapsulates all the elements of the beauty industry, and I think
you're
that's
exactly right.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So Geno, you have written a book entitled "Adventures in Creative Hairdressing."
Actually, Adventures in Creative Hairdressing is my CDs.
You do CDs.
They're actually old. They were audio cassettes at the beginning. And
now they're progressive CDs.
Yeah, and now I transferred them to CDs, and then I retired them. You can't even download them on my website, but I've got a few others that replaced them. I wrote a book called Success Dynamics for students in the beauty industry, teaching them basically what made me. I've never been a great hairdresser. I've never been a great colorist. I'm just a nice guy. And I really like people, and I communicate well, and I connect well. So I tried to teach students understanding the importance of having respect and making it fun and really listening to people and getting them to understand that those are just as important as your shears are. That you have to have the quality to learn how to communicate with others and market yourself and sell yourself and be friendly and be nice and be fair all the time. And I mean, I would have customers come back to me a lot of times and say, look, I hate my hair, but I love you. Can we do something better? And I'd say, well, I'll try. Stay still. Don't move.
I love what you're saying because I've been on this kick forever since I had my first salon. That women and men come to the salon for two reasons. They are expecting a good service, but they're also coming for the experience.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And everyone wants to feel good when they're spending their money. And so that's a whole different skill set. I think it's so important, Geno, because this is your skill set that you work with people on, how to talk and how to communicate, how to work with coworkers, how to build a team. And it's so on target because I feel that that's the most underrated skill in the skill sets that we teach in the beauty industry.
Oh, I agree. And you know what? I tell beauty schools all the time, please teach the students how to communicate, how to connect with each other, how to network, how to sell themselves, how to have, I have students a lot of times ask me, well, how do you get confidence? And I said, well, you're going to get confidence by doing what you do. When you do the same haircut 50 or 60 times, you become a little more confident about it. But the fact of the matter is sometimes you just have to pretend you're confident and get out there and do it, get out there and make it happen. But I agree with you so totally, Sue. It's been lacking forever. And every time I have it in salon seminar, I speak on stage afterwards, people always, what they liked the best was the communication part, the hard part, the connecting part, So important.
I remember years ago, I saw you speak at Intercoiffure, and you did a wonderful presentation. And at the time, I thought that, that's really on point. But I feel it's more on point now because our generation, we talked to people. We had to talk to people. We were lucky we had a line telephone. You didn't have a cell phone with a computer and pictures and texts, and I am. And so many of the younger people, and this is not a put down to them, but they communicate only through the device in their hand. So when you take that away and they have to communicate with the customer, that's something that's really foreign to them. It's more needed now than ever, I think. What do you think?
You are so right on.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
You're so right on. When they first invented the ATM at the banks, no one would use it. Everyone wanted a teller. Now, no one wants a teller. Everyone uses the ATM. It used to be when they put in the first couple of self-checkouts at the grocery store, no one would ever use it. Now, it's more used. People don't want to deal with people anymore. And I don't get it. I mean, because to me, helping another person, smiling at another person, making another person's day, supporting the people around you, having great friends and great family, gosh, that's life. That's what enhances your life and makes it rewarding, And not only are you so right on, but now we deal with students or young beauty professionals that they spent 3.5 years at home, not talking to anybody. So they almost feel more comfortable talking to their phone than they do a person. And boy, we've got to, we either have to eliminate that or it's going to become chaos. And I think it's already happening. I don't know about where you guys, but where I live at my county, they've just decided no more phones in school. Keep it in your locker. But you can't have it because it'll take you away. And I just finished reading a book called Limitless by a guy named Jim Quick, K-W-I-K. It's a great book, Limitless by Jim Quick. First thing he talks about is we suffer in America today from digital distraction. People are distracted by their phones constantly. They have a haircut, they take a break, they run in the back, they want to check in on Facebook. For what? You're going to find out what's going on anyway. Like, just pay attention. When you're at work, go to work and pay attention to work and get into work and learn from work and grow from work and shut that darn phone off. And I can see where it's easy to reap benefit from having all the information in your hand. But I can also see where it can affect your self-worth and your self-esteem. It can affect how you feel about your job and your home. And, it's almost like that double-edged sword. It's as bad as it is good. And I'll tell you, I have a deep, firm commitment to always helping people understand. In our industry, if you have the right dialogue, if you know how to talk to a person, there's no problem getting busy. If you really know how to talk to a person and you have the right dialogue, it's no problem selling color, selling deep conditioning treatments, selling retail. I think the reason most beauty professionals don't sell retail is that no one's ever really taught them how. And they're afraid of rejection. We all hate hearing no. And I tell people all the time, look, in our business, you have to be comfortable hearing no 5 or 6 times a day because you're going to.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
You're not going to get a yes if you never ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
You're exactly right.
Who knows?
Right.
We had a guest last week, I guess, and he says, hairdressers today do not sell because they're not sellers. They're artistic and they just do a beautiful haircut, a beautiful color. And he said, the moment you were born and they spanked you on your butt, you were selling.
Yes, indeed.
You were selling yourself, So
I
it goes to show you. And he talked about communication and, how well do you communicate? If you're going to have some stylists that are great communicators and you're going to have some that are not. And those that are not, then you have to teach them how to communicate.
Yes.
And it's so important to have a system. It is so important.
My dear friend Steve Cowan from Professional Salon Concepts in Chicago taught me many years ago that selling is a transfer of belief and passion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I'd met Steve, he's not a hairdresser, he's a distributor, and he loved my industry more than I did. He rocked my world. I looked at him and I said, how can you talk about beauty better than me? I'm a licensed professional. You're not. But he took the time to study and learn. And when you think about that saying, that selling is a transfer of belief and passion, if you're really passionate about your products, selling them's easy. If you really believe in what you use,
right.
Selling is easy. Not that it doesn't mean you're ever going to sell every client. It doesn't mean you're ever going to get every client to rebook. What it means is you're going to be the true professional and get them to understand there is a difference. And we use what we use because we believe it to be the best to be used.
Yeah.
Hard to explain.
I would like to take this and flip it a little, a personal bias, because we're talking about selling and we're applying it to retail products. But I spent a lot of time in airports, and it used to be my favorite thing to do. I would study who's wearing what kind of cuts and what kind of colors the most, and how are they dressing, who's wearing what. And I sit in airports today, and it almost makes me nauseous because I do not see any trend in hairstyle. There is no look. I see lots of home hair color that for the most part looks bad. I see a lot more gray on young people than I used to see. I come from way back in the Sassoon days, so I look for what is the silhouette of a haircut, and I just see, long and stringy or pulled up in a butterfly clip. And I will say the most interesting and best hair that I see is on ethnic clients. And so my question is, what has happened in the professional beauty industry that we're no longer driving the fashion bus? Because, we come from the generation, I'll go way back. You go back to National Hairdressers Association. You had 2 trends a year. Everybody knew the trend. You knew the cut, the color, the look, the finish, the stuff, and it just seems to me like that creative element, that energy that came out of the Sassoons or came with the John Sahag or any of the, is just kind of void in our industry right now. And I don't know how we get that spark going again.
Your thinking is right on. You're right on. First of all, look at what's happening in culture in America. I mean, kids go to school now in pajamas. People go to the store in their pajamas. I used to remember when I was a kid, and if we saw a lady with rollers in her hair, we would laugh because you'd rarely, but occasionally see one and just, look at them. I think we've become very relaxed as a society. I think we've decided that we'll just accept anything versus make sure you look good before you leave the house. My mother would never let us leave the house without making sure we looked crisp. We had a nice look about us. I think the idea behind, look at the associations that we had. They don't exist anymore. I think people today, and it's not young people. I mean, a lot of people, they want to learn online. They learn from an influencer. Now, I recently talked to a beauty industry influencer that's not even a hairdresser, that doesn't know what it's like to be behind the chair and work with clients. And I just had to laugh and say, well, how the hell did you become an influencer? You don't even know what we do. You don't even know what it's like. So I think all of that added to the thought process of just relax and don't worry about it. You'll be okay. But at the same time, if you flip that coin, look at the issues we have today with people with poor self-worth and self-esteem and bad mental health. I mean, I used to say to my clients all the time when they tell me they couldn't afford to bring their children to me, I would always say, something, I don't want to make you feel bad, but you actually can't afford not to bring them to me. I will give them the added confidence of knowing they look their best. I'll make them feel like $1 million. They'll get better grades if they come to me because they'll feel better about who they are and what they do. They'll be accepted. They'll be cool. Do you remember what it was like to be cool, like to have a cool haircut, a cool shirt, a cool outfit to put on, and all of a sudden you felt like you could walk on air? We do that for customers. And I used to say to all my clients used to bring me all their children, and I charged full price, but I think it did make a difference. And I know it made a difference in how they felt about themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I guess that,
I have a daughter that does hair, and I guess she learned it from me because I was a teacher. But you're either born as a natural person, as a giver. When she does her clients, she gives all to her clients.
Yeah,
like she'll
that's
wash
wonderful.
their glasses if they need, when she's shampooing them. She walks them to their car. If they're elderly, she makes sure that the door is open. And those things we don't see it today. They want to hurry up and do it and get it done.
Get on their phone.
Get on the phone.
You know what's funny, Lulu? I'm actually writing a program right now that I'm getting ready to do next week for a company, and I was writing about having a servant's heart and a servant's mentality, having the heart of a servant. And somebody actually questioned me and said, you talk all the time about giving 100%. And I said, oh, I do. I think it's the most important thing. Well, how can you give 100% all the time? Like, what do you get for it? And I said, well, you can't look at what you get for it. You have to look at what it gives you. I give 100% of the time so that I know in my own head, my own heart, my own soul, I did everything I possibly could. And I feel the same way about serving a guest. I mean, if you can't exceed a guest's expectations and make them feel special, you're talking about an hour. If you can't do that 8 times a day, 8 hours a day, you're costing yourself a lot of money and a lot of self-worth and self-esteem, knowing that you're great at what you do. I mean, that's the benefit. The benefit is I'll be staying late and sweeping the floor and cleaning because nobody else does. But the better benefit is I'll get in the car and I'll say, wow, I'm a good guy. I'm okay. I'm getting it done. And I think your daughter certainly gets that right through you, but I think a lot of people can learn that. They can learn the importance of having a servant's heart and seeing what it's like to deliver an extraordinary relationship to people all day long. You know, when people would say to me, "My God, how did you get so busy?" I was one of the busiest hairdressers in the D.C. metropolitan area, and I'm basically a shitty hairdresser. You know, I am. I was never that good. You know, I just think that when you, I mean, I just ran into an old couple clients. I did their hair for years, and we were out to dinner, and they were too, and they came over and said, "Oh my God, Geno, we miss you so much. You know, I've never gotten a good haircut since you." And I said, "Oh, you got to be kidding me, because I never gave you a great haircut to begin with. You can't even." But see, when people connect to you on that level, we all win.
Yeah,
You know,
that's so true. Yeah.
And I know, Lulu, that we spent some time together with the hair color exchange, and the thing I always loved about the hair color exchange was, you know, we had that level of respecting kinship, not just friendship, but kinship with each other, to where that program always did so much for my heart. It just made me feel great about us being us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Lulu and I were talking before you got on, Geno, and yeah, again, I'm going back to trend, fashion, service in the salon, but hairdressers have to have so much knowledge in their head to survive. But what has happened is I don't think they're sharing the knowledge. So, for an example, we know there's just tons of home hair color going on, which maybe the first time they do it might look okay. The second time it's iffy. The third time it's bad. She comes and she's in for a haircut. Now the stylist looks at the hair color and she knows it's home hair color and she knows it looks bad. But the client's down for a haircut. Instead of sharing her knowledge and saying, you know, Miss Mary, you know, I'm looking at your hair and I'm thinking, boy, you would look beautiful instead of just being a light brown. If we put some mahogany in there, I think
love
it would
it.
lift you up, and it would see, that kind of dialogue is very rare to hear in a salon. And yet I think that it's very possible to get clients back. Clients want to look and feel good. They just need somebody to help them figure out how to do that. And
absolutely.
I think, you know, that's that.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny, Sue? I think that's a part of our job. My neighbor across the street one day was painting her nails, and she's on her new white leather couch. And I said to her, "Do you know you're going to ruin that couch if you get nail polish on that couch?" "Yeah, I'm just getting my nails done real quick." I said, "You know, you can get your nails done professionally at a salon for $25. You know, you can get professional, not hair color, but professional hair color by a trained artist for $100. You know, what are we talking about here? It's not like people don't have the money. They just have to, excuse me. They just have, I get so excited. And you know, I'll tell you a great line that we've always used in my salon, that I teach on my CDs and my podcasts and my downloads on my website, and that's this: just to say to a customer, is it important that you look your best? If it's important that are you married? Well, shouldn't you want to look your best for your partner? Do you have a job? You want to look your best for your job. People are going to equate how good you look to how good you do, right? So I would always say, if it's important that you look your best, then let me take care of your hair, and my company will take care of your skin and nails, and you'll never have to worry or wonder, right?
Right. That's such good advice. So, Geno, you know that you're a natural born motivator.
Yes.
And can you tell the audience, what are some of your wisdom and staying positive and motivated? Can you share with our audience?
Absolutely. Lulu, I think a lot of it is derived in how we grow up, how we're raised, and a lot of it is derived in how we see life and see the things around us. And uh, at the time, I would say that unfortunately, I lost both my parents at a very young age, but now I see it really as a gift. And it taught me one thing that a lot of people forget all the time, and that's this. Time flies. Whether you're having a good time or not, time flies. Life is happening all around you. This is your life. And if you don't pay attention to it, it'll just go on without you. And all of a sudden you'll have that look in the mirror and you'll be old. Now, I get all the time people say to me, you're always so happy, you're always so inspired. And I'll always say to them, I'm not. It's just that what right do I have to share anything with you that isn't good? I believe in all things good. And I believe that's what we should focus on and what we should talk about. So what I try to do is I try to seek inspiration every day. I get motivated by the masters every day. I listen to old Zig Ziglar stuff and Brian Tracy and Earl Nightingale, and I live with that. It's all, if you could see behind me, it's all over my office. There's books and tapes and CDs and just everything because I think I'm a Joel Osteen freak. I'm not getting spiritual, but I love Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen makes me feel great about who I am and what I do. And I think people sometimes don't understand the importance of being grateful for what you already have, no matter what it is. Be grateful for being an American, God, for being in this great industry. And I know that you two agree with me. What drives me sometimes in beauty is more than half of my industry settle for okay when they could do great. More than half my industry settle for okay money when they could be making great money. I mean, I've made great money all my life in this industry, never had to worry about it. So I think for a lot of people to understand what exactly is motivation, only you can motivate you, but, I tell my audiences all the time, there is a genius within you. Every one of us has a genius within us. Our job is to get that genius out and use it to the best of our ability. We've all got greatness within us. We just have to get that greatness out. And you can't let yourself believe that you don't have it, because you do. We all do. Now, does it mean you might achieve it? Well, yes, but could you not achieve it? Sure, you could not achieve it. Maybe you'll get pregnant and then have 3 or 4 kids. Maybe you'll have 2 jobs, or maybe you won't take the time to look into the magic of who and what you are. I was just writing down before we talked a little thing about everyone has a light within us. And a lot of people, the light shines so bright that they become attractive to others, which is great for us in building business. But there's a lot of people that they turn their light off and never remember to turn it back on. Like, don't you see certain people you just don't want to talk to? We don't have to be that way. So my suggestion to all of you viewers would be, just be careful. This is your life, and your life is flying by. Make it work. Take full advantage of it, and keep in mind something I've always taught my children. I think the greatest question in the world is, how can I enhance my life and career and make them more rewarding? So my example would be, my daughter says to me that she's a lot like me, one of my children. And I said, you know what? Really, you're not. You look a lot like me, but you're not a lot like me. And she said, well, what do you mean? What are you saying? I said, well, we look alike and we move alike, but you think very differently than I do. You see, I said to her, you just let your life unfold. Every day you just wait till the next day and just let. I said, I don't do that. I unfold my life. I unfold it carefully. I look at every day. What am I going to learn today? What am I going to share today? What am I going to give today? What am I going to do tomorrow? And as I unfold my life, I'm looking there could be a great memory today. I mean, my great memory today will be looking at your two beautiful faces for an hour, and us talking. You got to look for that in life, and I said to her, you don't look to make memories in life. And I do. I said, when I invite you guys here for Easter or Christmas or the holidays, we painstakingly plan from meals to food drinks to make everybody feel good. What movie we're going to watch? Is there wood to light a wood fire? And you see, I think that I can share with the two of you, because I know you're cut from the same cloth that I am. That's exactly what we do for a client in the salon. Yeah. We make them feel so special. It's different, So I hope I answered your question. Good.
You just sure did. You sure did.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so
well, the one thing that maybe our audience is wondering, Geno, is how do they connect with you? Maybe there's a salon that wants to have you come in and teach, or maybe there's a stylist out there thinking, gosh, I'm listening to this Geno guy, and that's just what I need. How do they connect with you?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I am trying to retire, so I don't want to. I really am. So I don't want too much work. I'm really trying to retire. However, if I know you, certainly, I would be honored to work with you. And if I don't know you and we meet and talk, I would love that. You can always get me at my email is geno@genostampora.com. That's Geno at genostampora.com. You can go to my website. That's genostampora.com. I'm on all social media. I've got the best-selling, most phenomenal downloads that they could download, and for I think it's $20, you can have a coach on your iPhone, and you can listen to me tell you how to be happy. And people don't realize sometimes that if you're not really where you want to be, maybe the best thing you could do is to turn yourself off and stop listening to you and try listening to me. Maybe I can help. Maybe having someone to direct us, or push us in the right direction, or hold us somewhat accountable. I've also got some downloads on specific salon dialogue that would greatly enhance your career and help you make more money. I mean, it's all available, and I'll give all your viewers an opportunity. If you email me, Geno@genostampora.com, I return every single email I've ever gotten. And you can ask anybody that knows me. If you've ever written to me, I write back, send a Christmas card to every person that has ever written me. It's just part of who I am and what I do. I mean, sometimes I'll write 15 or 20 notes a day, just staying up with and staying in touch with people. So, yeah, look me up online. I put a lot of, by the way, inspirational material on my Facebook and Instagram pages, at least once a week or so. Even now, I'm actually starting to do it more because I've got a little more time at home. So, trying not to travel so much.
Yeah. You can identify with my lot of time in the airport, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know what? I wanted to mention. You just reminded me, Sue. That's a great sign that you're very observant, and I think a lot of people have lost that gift of being observant. Like I do the same thing. My wife and I were just at the airport heading over to Ireland to work with the Forest Software people, and we were just observantly studying all the people, how they were dressed and how they looked and what they were doing. And she even took a picture of a guy with his finger halfway up his nose, and just right there in the airport, just letting it all out. I think it's so important to be observant today and just watch everything that's going on around you and learn from that,
Exactly. Well, speaking about learning, Geno, we do a little thing. I hate to throw this on you, but our audience loves this. We call it the lightning round. And I'm going to ask 5 simple, quick questions. And we're going to ask you just to answer them as quick as you can with the first thing that comes to your mind.
I love it.
Okay. So
okay,
here
wait, let me brace. Wait, let me brace myself. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. The lightning round.
Okay. If you had to recommend one book to read, what would it be?
I Declare by Joel Osteen.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie?
It's so hard. Can I give you two?
Sure.
Okay. Certainly The Godfather.
Uh-huh.
I'm Italian. I relate. Certainly The Godfather. Best movie ever. But I think a great movie that really moves people's hearts and souls is a movie called The Family Stone.
Okay. Okay. I've not seen it. I'm going to Google it.
Oh, you must. You must. It'll floor you. It's wonderful.
Okay. So who other than Joel Osteen, what things do you use to motivate yourself? What other than, the normal books and tape, where do you go to find your sweet spot?
I try to set myself in the morning in the right direction of seeking inspiration. I look all day long at what's going to make me feel good, what's going to look good. I also try to read just a few minutes every day, a little bit of maybe Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, just to kind of remind me that that today is a gift, that this is my gift today, because it's difficult. Some days you wake up, it's just a shitty day. And it's your job to turn that around, so, yeah.
You practice what you preach. How wonderful. You actually do what you tell other people to do. So
I do, yeah.
Someone was making the movie of your life, who would you cast to play you?
Oh, my goodness. Probably Antonio Banderas. I think he's so damn handsome and sexy. Maybe I guess maybe like a Tom Hanks, because I have a thing about comedy. I have a thing about laughter. I think it's important to see the fun every day. Every day in my daytimer, which I still write down. I use my phone too, but I still write down. Every day I say, look for fun. Plan fun in your day. So maybe somebody like Tom Hanks. That's a great question.
Yeah. And the last
all those answers might change tomorrow. I am a hairdresser.
Well, here's a good one. What would you like your legacy to be?
That is a good one. It's a tough one. I guess it would be this, that anything is possible. That though you may at times doubt yourself and think that you can't, I promise you can. And I think that if that could be my best legacy, that when I finally woke up from life, which was maybe 25 to 30 years into it, I've always tried to be fair, honest, resilient, reliable, friendly, happy. And I think that we can train ourselves to be that way. And there was a long time that I doubted the fact that I'd ever become too much of anything. And luckily, I fell into our industry, which taught me that I could be anything that I even ever dreamt of, If that was my legacy, I'd be totally happy through eternity, for sure.
Well, you are something special. And thank you much for sharing your gifts with so many people. And
thank you.
Especially for our podcast.
Ladies, thank you. And I'll tell you what, I want to say the same to both of you, that providing this information, taking time out of your lives and your businesses is priceless. One of the things, I have another friend that did podcasts way back when and didn't do real well with them. And I said, look, if we reach one person and we move one person, we've succeeded. So thank you, ladies. It was a pleasure. I'd love to do it again anytime you want. Obviously, I've got a lot to say, so we could do a continuation podcast.
And we'll call you back.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Geno.
You're welcome.
Be
Lulu.
well,
We'll see you
friend.
soon, girls.
Wow, what an episode. That wraps up another exciting edition of Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're leaving inspired and ready to chase your dreams. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode over at youtube.com/artists, icons, entrepreneurs, as well as Facebook at Lulu Benavidez, on IG at Lulu Benavidez, at Evolve Hair Solutions as well. And don't forget to visit our website at lulubenavidez.com and evolvehairsolutions.com to stay updated. Until next time, keep dreaming big, creating boldly, and making your mark on the world. Thanks for listening, and take care, everyone.